Hello friends, welcome to our channel Contemporary Literary Review India. In this interview, I am with author Pradeep Gupta. Mr. Gupta is India's top cephalogist and a leading name in consumer data intelligence business. An engineer by education and a Harvard postgraduate, Mr. Gupta is a first-generation entrepreneur who has amassed a wealth of media and print industry expertise. He has more than 27 years of hands-on experience that spans across various skills, right from printing to advertising to publishing to on-ground activations and market research. Prior to setting up Access My India, he has consistently been associated with the leading brands of high-profile organizations in India. Mr. Gupta has authored two books on elections and politics, namely How India Votes and What It Means, and Blueprint for an Economic Miracle. Before I move ahead, please subscribe to our channel. Hello, Mr. Pradeep Gupta. Welcome to our channel. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Khurshid. And how are you?
Yeah, very fine. Would you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
My name is Pradeep Gupta. I'm founder of company called Access My India Limited, and we have office at the head office in Mumbai, though we have office everywhere in the country.
Okay. So how many books have you got published until now?
So far, two books.
Okay.
First one is The Blueprint for the Economic Miracle, and the second one is How India Votes.
Okay. Great. So, Miss, what are the 5 takeaways from your book, like How India Votes and what it means?
So the first thing is we try and understand how India votes, different demography and different geography across the country. So that's the first takeaway, how, and they make their choices, so that is about how. And how to win election in India is the second part of this. And what really impact the outcome of any election for that matter in India particularly. So there are three things which matters, which is the ecosystem of election in India, which is the people who are going to elect the next government. The second one is the leader whom they are going to elect. And the third thing is the performance of incumbent government whom they have voted 5 years back. And there are so many issues, we call it basically the dawe, wade, mudde, then irade. So when I say dawe, it is the claim which is made by the incumbent government, what they have done in last 5 years. They try and showcase that. The second thing is the wade, the promises, which is generally made by the challenger, the opposition, who is in the fray for the election, the forthcoming election. And the third thing is the issues, the prevailing issues on that particular time during the election in that particular state, or location, or the country, depend on the election.
Okay.
And the fourth thing is that irade, meaning what people want, how they pursue the situation, all on all these three parameters, the incumbent, the challenger, and the issues prevailing at that point of time, who is better placed to rule them, to address them.
Okay.
So this book is all about this, how India votes.
Okay. Great. Means this is quite interesting. So what do you have especially in your next book, like Blueprint for an Economic Miracle?
In fact, the blueprint for the economic miracle is released before this, which is in 2018. And talking about this book, the takeaways, this is how India can transform from the current scenario to the next big thing in just terminology, we call it 5 trillion, economy in that sense. I'm just, because in so many years, the past so many years, we have been listening. India has tremendous potential, but the reality may not be the same. How and why we have not realized the potential which people have been talking about ages more than 100 years. So what are those strengths which makes people believe inside the country and outside the country that India has a tremendous potential? So I try and decode these potentials, in terms of what is there in it, which, over and again and again and again, people say, yes, India has a tremendous potential. And in reality, which is not happening.
True.
There are so many measurement and parameter you try and measure the state of economy or state of the condition, so socio-economic condition of the country. The simplest one is the dollar versus rupees valuation. At the time of independence, which is in 1947, and today it was 1:1 at that time, and today it is 1:75 plus
Oh,
rupees. So that's the simple analogy just to draw. There are hundreds of parameter where you can try and measure the state. So talking about the strengths, so India has three very basic strengths which is phenomenal, which is like, one is the kind of landmass this country has, the arable landmass. In fact, the US and China has
mm,
3 times bigger landmass, the geographical landmass, than in India. 3 times bigger, both of them, the China and the America. But the arable land available for the use or optimizing is much more bigger than the China and America. That's the first thing. You need land. Land is the mother of the prosperity, or even for that matter, at times the
mm.
war, right?
True,
Which is
true.
going on, that. And the second thing is, if you have land mass, somebody has to be there to work on it, to produce something out of it, which is your sheer population, the kind of population this country is blessed with. And most importantly, in this era and this time, the demographic dividend, the kind of youth country we are, more than 65% of people is below 35 of your age. That's the beauty. And the third thing is that you have land, you have people to work on. The kind of environmental condition this country is blessed with, one can work all 365 days of the year, in comparison to the Western countries where the extreme weather is there. They cannot work in 1 month or 2 months or even in intervals. All these things suggest that India has tremendous potential. If we are able to optimize this strength and make good use of this, I'm sure, even people are sure that India can live to, or reach to that dream of 5 trillion economy, or trying to be a great socio-economic country. So this
True,
book
true.
talk about how and why we can realize this potential.
True, true. Exactly, exactly. You are absolutely right in the sense like that we have potential, but we have never capitalized all those potentials in the right manner.
Right.
Right. So now I'm coming to a different topic. Okay. So do you think that democracy is just upheld by giving an opportunity to the citizens to cast vote?
Not limited only people cast their vote. Why they cast their vote and what happened after that? If the government whom they have elected through democratic system is lived to their expectation, then I say the real success of democracy.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Right.
People and that chair, or for that matter government, has expectation from the leader they are going to elect, or the leader they elected. Those expectations are different for different people.
Hmm. True. Okay. So according to you, what the people should have in mind when voting a government or political party, something like that?
Yeah. So need is the key driver. Different people have different needs, and these needs drive them the choices they make, even when it comes to electing the government. So across the demography and geography, where election is going to be held, different section of societies and geography have different needs. And while electing, they very carefully evaluate the choices available to them, the alternate available to them, and then they make their decision. Who is better placed? Who has got the better credibility to address their needs?
Mhm. Okay, okay, okay. So just like what are the responsibilities of the government, an elected government, to improve democracy? In what ways the government can help or work on to improve democracy?
So three things from the government and individual leader and individual post in the government is their responsibility, their accountability, and their delivery. These are the key things which, if they follow all these three parameters, I don't think there is a problem. They are these days, particularly in the era of technology, communication, and the media, by and large, government follows this. If they do not, they are thrown out of the office in the next election, which is the case.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay. So see, in recent time, we have talked a lot about freebies. Most of the governments in India are providing freebies. So what is your view if freebies are good or bad?
Freebies are in fact good if it is done with true sense, if solve the true purpose, the very objective of why the freebies is given. There are responsibility or the mandate at the government side to take care of the underprivileged or poor section of the societies. So basic amenities like road, electricity, water, education, health, uh, PDS, public distribution system through ration shops, and some issues related to farmers like electricity and water for irrigation, fertilizer, availability of seeds in subsidized rate is, and of course buying the crop, buying the produce goods from the, this thing, what do you call it, MSP. So these are the very basic amenity towards the common citizen or the common man, what do you call it. And if you provide the freebies, and even freebies is very, is the word kind of phase is used, whatever freebies is given, even if you, for example, electricity, it is not given to all for in the first place, and whoever it is given up to certain limit, which is the very basic 100 unit or 200 units consumption. It's not that it is given to all, but even then, if it is solving the purpose, it is not being misused, then it is good.
Right, right. So see, some people sometimes say that, okay, people in India, those who are going to vote, are not very decisive. They are lured by this or that. But I think that actually the people are very weak. They do not have power. They do not have anything. So they have an understanding that whatever they are satisfied with, they would go. So what is your view, like what is the role of citizens of becoming a good citizen?
So I would say, comparing to last 30 years, these days, even in those days also, I cannot comment on them. So I've been interacting and I've been seeing the what is going on for last 30 years. I can say voters are very smart. People are use their wisdom like anything because their livelihood is depend on government social security. So while electing the government, very carefully they evaluate all the options and the alternate available to them, and then they decide whom to vote. And trust me, they are very smart, and take these days the informed decision making. They pretty well understand what are their needs and who is in a right position to address them. So they take decision very carefully and they know what they are going to do as far as the electing the next government. So it's
Okay.
definitely not right if they are poor or they are weak. No, they may be poor, but their wisdom at the highest level, because it all depend on their livelihood. Because in India, about 80% of the population is their livelihood is largely depend on government social security measures. So it's like they are electing their main chief wage earner of the family or the society. So they are very careful. They
Mm.
don't take casual decision.
Yes, true. Somewhere you highlighted that why and how Modi is winning elections continuously for the last 20 years. Okay, with 3 assembly and 2 general elections with full majority, and he was not shown the opposition benches. Okay, so that is a big achievement, particularly for a big leader or a leader. Okay, so what is that? What do you talk about?
So it's very simple. Winning the election, to my study of over the years, suggests that winning the election is winning the hearts of the people, which definitely cannot be the fake. Number one. Number two, it's in case of Modi, it's not only winning the election, continuously winning the election, meaning he's ruling the heart of the people,
True.
right? Question is why? So it's very simple. If you live to the expectation of the people and the chair and the office, the government office, if you look to those expectations, people are going to vote you again and again because you are fulfilling their needs, their expectations, their aspirations over and again. So it is as simple as that. You try and understand their needs. That's most important, because different section of the societies has got totally different sets of their needs. You
Hmm.
need to address all of them. That is what you are responsible for. And if you do that, I don't think there is any problem. And it's not only the Modi. There are cases, which is the case of Naveen Patnaik. 5 consecutive election he won the assembly election. 5 consecutive. Why? The same is the same. And every time he's winning with bigger margin than the previous one,
Hmm.
right? So which is the case.
True, true. So if you are planning to write any next book, what is coming up?
And I have authored one chapter in this, which is election and electioneering change by Modi forever. So
Okay.
this book is going to be released very shortly, and most probably on May 11th. And book titled as Modi at 20, Dreams Meets Delivery. So I have authored one chapter out of about 20, 21 chapters in the book.
Okay, okay, okay. That's great. Okay. If you have anything new to share with audience.
New meaning, I would only say democracy is, in real sense, is the festival in India. We should respect this and we should vote in large numbers so that we end up electing the right leader. And if we do so, then definitely we can expect and hope for far better India.
Okay, okay, that's great.
So we must vote we must vote. I request to all the our citizens.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your views, valuable views. In fact, thank you for giving us time. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for having me here. Thank you very much.